landed on this godforsaken planet. We pick up the remains of our ship, we mine some stone, we head over to the iron, and we put down our first miner. And then our third. And then our sixth. And then our 12th. And then it's time for some copper. Out of nowhere, we hear a buzzing. Our platform is leaving. We must grab our miners. We must grab our resources. I don't know where we're going to end up, but we're going to need what we've accumulated so far when we get there. What's this? They've come with us. We'd best begin some research. We have our first automated defences. Now time to make them stronger. That buzzing. Again. We must gather the resources. Quickly! We need some storage. And we have to defend it. Made it. Looks like we're going to be here for a while, so let's start making this look like home. And now that we've got a bed, we've got to defend it. With our defences set, it's time to revisit our base. First of all, we'll automate red science. Next, we'll add green science. And finally, we'll add some laboratories. We have to manually feed the input resources into our now automated base, but at least it will keep us going better than those hand-fed assemblers. It's now time to move our power plant underground and chest feed it with some coal. Bob's inserters allow us to squeeze this in a tiny space. Been on this planet 20 minutes and the wildlife is getting out of hand. There's only one thing for it. Flamethrowers. Now to find some oil. Ah, black gold. With our base secure, it's time to focus on our resource stockpiles. First up, iron from our warp mining platforms. Now, let's hook up the miner and watch the iron flow. Perfect. Unlimited resources, sort of. With iron secured and the flamethrowers going, we're well on our way to working out how to get home. It's time to build a base. Space is at a premium, so we find this interesting L-shaped design for our iron. "28 furnaces, not bad. We needed a few breaks to take care of the wildlife and some of the local life. With iron complete, we duplicate the setup for copper. Add some buffer chests and we're done. With smelting secured, it's time to rebuild circuits and gears. Remove some labs to make room for gears. Hook up iron. Hook up copper. And circuits. With circuits and gears, it's time to automate red and green science again. Out of nowhere, we warped to a planet rich in oil, so time for some emergency plastic and sulfur. Feed coal via a chest and buffer the output plastic. Add sulfur and we get in towards blue science. Now rebuild the labs. After 11 hours and 35 minutes, we have finally got fully automated red and green science. With green circuits and plastic on board, we add some red circuits. In order to avoid our pumps constantly getting destroyed by our flamethrowers, we hurriedly set up some manual blue science, and then we get some inside water. With blue science, we can increase the size of our harvester floor and our mining platforms and get 2 red belts of smelting stacks available for iron. We then repeat the same for copper and put some belts down the side for stone and uranium. We move red circuits to the south to make some space. We move engines to the south, blue science to the west, and put some productivity modules in. In between the biter attacks, we set up advanced oil. We squeeze in some electric engines, sulfuric acid and batteries. We set up a chest crafting robot frame assembler. And after 17.5 hours, we have bots repairing our base. It's now time for the initial part of the Purple Science build. I quickly realise red chips can't keep up, so and then we finish up Purple Science. Having got fed up putting bullets in my mining outposts every single time, we upgrade to laser turrets and pick up personal bots. We then reuse the L-shaped design to expand our steel. Power has been a problem for a long time, so we start the centrifuges up. On a quiet forest world, we expand the top of our base to give us more space. With the newly created space on the surface, we finally upgrade from 2 green chip assemblers. It's about time. The spaghetti is getting out of hand, so we set up a temporary yellow science setup and race for logistics. And of course we hand feed it. With logistics in hand, we set up a blueprint and begin the transformation. After a couple of hours, we're well on our way to a bot-driven base, on our way off of this crazy ship. We have the components for Purple Science. Power's been a persistent problem, so we put together a 2-reactor setup in the basement and wait for Kovarax to complete. We did away with the handcrafting In preparation for the rocket silo, we add some rocket fuel and rocket control units. We get 40 uranium-235 and we start Kovacs. After just under 35 hours, we have what amounts to a completed base. Hand feeding fuel to the furnaces is becoming tiring, so we find a nice tileable design where the ore flows on one belt and the plates flow out on another. We then replace all of the iron smelting with this tileable design and upgrade to red belts. At this point, we unlock a few Warptorio specific technologies. One disables the warp timer, and the other gives us a radar scanner around our base. We upgrade copper with the same tileable design as iron. As we prepare for the rocket launch, let's look at the bot's work. In recognition of all the cars that gave their chassis in the name of progress, we launch one into the ceiling of our spaceship. "38 hours and over 1 million biters later, we've done it. We're on our way to a desert island.